it's Veronica. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to start off with the precious word, and I have a couple of pieces that I'd like to make with you in this video. So I want to start off with, this is from Psalm chapter 34 verse 4, and it says, I sought the Lord and he heard me and delivered me from all my fears. It's another promise from our Lord. All right, so let me get the pieces together that we're going to work with, and I'll be right back. All right, so today we're going to start off with doing this necklace here. So I wanted to tell you what we have. We're going to be using some of the crimp beads. This is the number 1 in the Beaded. So we'll need a couple of those. I have, these are about 4.5 inch chain. We are going to be cutting them down, at least for the size that I want for my necklace, because I like this probably around 17, maybe 18 inches. And so I have 2 of those. I have about 10 inches of the Coriana chain. This is from Wendy. I have, I'm going to use 4 of the triangle beads here. I have 4 of those. I have 4 of, this is onyx gemstone. These are 4mm, so I'm going to use those. So I'm pretty much going to design as we go, but I have an idea. These here are the tiny little bead caps that I also got from Wendy. So as you can see, these are my bugle beads, and they're like a mirror. So again, I use these in one of the sets that I showed you in my last video, and so these will just really give us off a nice flash when the sun hits it. So I'm not sure how many I'll use just yet. You'll need a clasp. This is a lobster claw clasp. I have a couple of, these are 5mm jump rings. This is an 8mm jump ring. These are stainless steel. All this is stainless steel. This is stainless steel. And this right here is from, now this here, these triangle beads, and this is a metal bead, as you can see. It's solid all the way through. It's not hollow. This is also from the Gemstone Orphanage from Homestrung Jewelry. I think I said homespun in my last video, but it's Homestrung Jewelry, and this is from their subscription box. And these are all Swarovski crystals in here. So that's why I want to make this necklace really, really pretty, because got to do these beautiful pieces some justice. And look at that sparkle. I mean, just this alone on a chain would be absolutely gorgeous. But I want to use these other things to make it look like a satellite chain. Basically, things look like they're just floating. And the crimp beads here are going to be for our little clamshells that we're going to use. And I do have the ones where you can bend your this closed. I do like them. And I'm not rough on my necklaces or anything like that. I don't have, you know, young children yanking on my chains of my necklaces or anything like that. These can be very durable. I know some people may have grandchildren or children that they are around frequently that might pull on their chains. So yeah, I'm going to use those, and I trust them. So these are silver, so I am going to be making sure that those are cleaned off. And that denatured alcohol that I have is what it does is it actually pulls off any oily residue and dries it out. That's why you need that as a step before you put on your sealant. So it'll take any oily residue off of that. So I will be doing that with these since these are silver. So, all right, so let's begin with taking our Coriana chain. So what I'm going to do is move some of this out of the way, so they're not quite focused, having the camera focus. Those are going to be last. Okay. So I want to start and end with those. Okay. So what I'd like to do is take and put that through here. Now I have a Coriana chain in the gunmetal, which I also got from Wendy, but I cannot find it. I just still cannot find it, and it's driving me crazy because I have a lot. So I'm sure it'll show up at some point, but I still think this will look beautiful with the silver. Okay, so now we're going to put on some of these, but I want to start off with a bead cap coming in this direction, backwards. All right, I think I'm going to have to take this to pick it up. Let me just grab a different one. Okay. This is definitely a Wendy style. So bring that down. Okay. Just get one on the other side. This is not easy because it's so tiny. I can get that on there. All right, let me try another one. Maybe there's something wrong with the hole. I don't know. Wow. Finally. Okay. Okay, now they're sitting in there like that. Now we're going to go and put these on. I know some people can, if you don't have any of these bugle beads and you want to add a bead to your chain, you will just have to measure out where you want it and then use a crimp bead to keep it in place on each side of that bead. But because I'm using these, I'm not going to have to use all of those crimp beads for that. So I'm not quite sure yet how many I want. Let's see, if I do 3 and then do a red, do I want to add one of these? Maybe. All right, so we'll go with this. So yeah, it's kind of designing on the fly. I have an idea, but I didn't work it out before we did this because I wanted to be just as surprised as you. Now we're going to go with another 3. Let's see. Let's see if I can get in a little closer. That's 2, that's 3. Okay. we're going to add a onyx gemstone. I'll add 3 more here. Sorry, guys. All right, and we'll add, I'm gonna make sure it's centered. So we're gonna have to bring that, still position it. So far that's what it's looking like. All right, now we'll add another red one. Three more of these. I hope I have enough room. If not, we'll just have to take it away, take some away. Sorry if you guys hear anything in the background. My neighbors, one of them finally moved out. Oh, it's just not a good experience. Very noisy. All right, so now we're going to take our last one here of our gemstone. Oops. I can't even see this. I'm sorry if I keep drifting out. Let's see. Can't even see the hole. Okay, so I think that hole may be a little bit smaller than the others. And then we'll add the bead cap on that end. Okay. Okay, let's get this straight. Just want to make sure. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other half on here off camera and then try to center it, because I'm not going to be able to tell if this is the center, knowing that because of these beads being as long as they are, they're forcing it outwards. So I want to make sure that it is even on both sides once I get all of them on there. So let me get that on there and I'll be right back. All right, so I got them all on here, and I got the cap right here. So I'm going to add the cap on this side. So what I'm going to do is just hold this end with a clip so they don't slip off while I add this. And then let me just take it from here. so now what I want to make sure here, see, we're like that. So while one end is clamped, let's see. I'm going to give myself enough room when I go to put on the seed, the crimp bead. I want to make sure that that end of that bead cap is sitting in that hole, okay? So you can get it positioned right in there. Get it positioned in there. This is now where I'm going to take hold on 1 second, guys. All right, just want to bring this down because I want to make sure again that I have enough room. Oops, hold on. Okay, so I got it sitting right in there. You want to try to at least keep it in there as much as possible. That bead cap right in here, okay? Then you're going to put on your, first you're going to put on your, oops, sorry, you're going to put on your clamshell first. It's stuck on that. Like, why isn't it moving? Okay. And you could always open that a little bit more because we're going to have to come in and, especially on the other end. Okay. So we are going to take one of our seed beads, our crimp bead. Okay. Now, one end is always easier than the other, just because once we can just go ahead and flatten this and then snip off the end. But we can just, just go towards the end and take one of your, flat nose pliers, your tweezer nose pliers, and go towards the widest end here. Okay. And give that a nice squish. And then you can take your cutters and cut there. And then you just go ahead and lift up your clamshell. Wendy liked using these. I would see her do many, many projects with these. Have to turn it. Went in no problem. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm gonna have to do this off camera because I want to know why it's not. It went in no problem. Now I'm having a hard time bringing it through. I don't know if when I went to open it, that back part closed up a little bit. Okay, sorry I had to pause that. But yeah, I got it up there. It just, you know, it was just because when it was in here and it was up further, it was actually bent where it wasn't able to come through. So I had to put it in a position where the chain was straight, and then it just fell right down into it. So when you're using Coriana chain and certain sizes on your clamshells, just be aware of that. The chain can't be slumped over in any way. Okay. All right. So we got that, and now you can just take your round nose pliers from here, and you can take that end and bring it in to close it off. I want to make sure I just bring it all the way towards the back there. Okay. And then go ahead and make sure everything is nice and closed up. And there you have one end done. And we can go ahead and do the other side here. So now we're just going to take it and get everything down to the other end. Double check your bead caps. Want to make sure that they are sitting in the holes. And then we're going to do the same thing. You could take your clip off and put your oops, gotta put the clamshell on first. Wow, I'm racking it over here at 1,000. What do they say? How's that saying go? Batting 1,000. Something like that. Okay, see? I don't know why it's getting hung up on there. This is... see, no problem. It's got to come in one way. Okay, bring that all the way down. And now we can get our little bead. So when we put this on, make sure that they are going to be facing the same way. It shouldn't be a problem, being that the chain only goes in one way. Why is this blurry? Okay. All right, so it's all the way down there. Double check. Okay, so when this comes around, we go to close it, they should be facing the same way. And they will, because this can't turn on the chain because it's wider on one side and then it's flat on another. So it's flat and then wide. So it only goes through that clamshell in one direction. Okay, so now I'm going to take my skinniest, my tiniest of my pliers here. I'm going to try to get in here. So if I have to open this a little wider, I will. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I can actually hold on to that chain. Try to push it down to that and then squash. Okay. I'm going to come to the other side because it's not quite the same when you're doing the second part of your, or the last half of your chain here. Just want to make sure that it's clamped on there. Okay. So I think close that a little bit more. Make sure it's sitting there correctly. Sorry guys, this wants to spin around on me now. So I just want to come in and snip that off. Okay. Alright, now I can come in and close that. And then take my round nose pliers again and bring that right all the way. Okay. So now this is what we have. So far, we have that. I think that looks really pretty. So it's going to sit like that. Let's put my little beads away. Okay, so from here now we can measure it. Okay, since this is the focal area, now we're going to measure it. And I have, now that we've cut down some just to get those crimps on, we are at 8.5 inches. Well, 8 3/4. So 8 3/4. So let's just say 9 inches. So if I wanted 18, I would then need the 4.5 on each side, except the thing is, you have to account for your clasp area. So since this is going to be probably, see if I just line them up, it's going to be about another 1.25 inches. So I could probably cut, and these are, I could probably take about 1/2 inch off of each of these, and that'll give me the size that I want. So I'm going to take 1/2 inch off of each of these, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I took that off here, and I have a jump ring for each end to connect them, and then these are going to be for the clasp end. And pretty basic, the standard of opening up your jump rings. Oh, sorry about that, it's my tools. So you just want to open it like that. We're going to put it on that, and then hopefully this will fit through there because it's the skinniest I got for this size. If not, I'm going to have to get the smaller ones or the skinnier ones. Nope. Nice. But these ones are just a little bit sturdier, so that there is no chance of anything coming apart. Not that the other ones aren't sturdy, but I think I just would like a little more protection with, you know, these particular beads. Okay, same thing on the other side. sure it's closed nice. All right, I'm gonna have to get my other tool. This one is, here it is. I'm just gonna use my flat nose. These are my mini flat nose. They're the mini ones from Weber's. It's a mini series, I guess. Okay. Wow, I'm just, I don't know. I think it's because I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning, and it is now going on around noon, so I've literally already been up for 8 hours, and getting my house prepared for our regular, I guess, they come in and they make sure that they spray so that we don't get bugs and stuff like that. So now this is one of those where it doesn't matter. There's not a front or a back. So you can choose whatever side you like. Put that in there. Now if you don't want to have this and this, that's up to you. You can just use your 8mm for that. And let me go and do that and see what that looks like. I promise the next one won't be so agonizing. Yeah, maybe we'll just leave it at that. Now with these bigger ones, they can sometimes get a little curvy, you know, if you're not paying attention and getting it on there straight. So you can always just kind of do that and make sure it's all straight. Okay, now we can go ahead and put the other side on. So small. And then again, remember, you want to make sure that when you are putting your lobster claw on, you want that little nubby thing right there, okay? That little opener facing your chest when you go to put it on. So when you do go to put it on, this will always be in the up position and not downwards. All right, let's see. Now I want to measure this. I'm actually going to take it from... I got my... Okay, that's... Now, let me put it around my neck. Sorry, I have my ruler hanging, and it's a metal ruler. So yeah, it's about 17.5 inches. And I could actually shorten it probably about 1/4 of an inch on each side. And I think it'll sit on me just perfect. This sits right below my throat, just a little bit below my throat. And this is the kind that I like a little bit higher, not a choker. And this just feels so nice. It does not feel heavy. It doesn't feel tight. So yeah, sorry, I had to pause that video for a second. So that is that one for now. All right, let's get on to the next project here. And again, I apologize. I think I'm like sleepwalking at the moment. So let me get this all together and or the other pieces together, and I'll be right back. All right, well, before I begin, I wanted to show you a couple of things I made from the bargain bead box. And in fact, we're going to do a piece that has some of the bargain bead box items. And I am working on doing more tutorials with those, and of course pieces off of camera so that I can show them to you. And this is one of them. And I just think these are just so amazing. So I'm going to actually zoom in once I show this to you here. And this is just so pretty. So what I did was, as you can see, I bent it up a little bit more, and I just left it just like it is. It is just so pretty. And connected it here on each of the stems here. And I used the crackle agate with the muakite and part of that chain. And I already washed and dried and sealed this with my sealant, because this will tarnish almost immediately. And then from the last from one of the other bargain bead box, previous one, I put the little mushroom on there. So I have that. Yeah, I guess you guys could probably tell I'm really tired. I can hear it in my voice. So there's that one. And then just something very simple, but I thought it was still so pretty. It's these earrings. It's ones with the chrysanthemums on there. And I used one of those beautiful deep red. That's kind of like that deep brick wine red right there. And I used this is my 14 or 18 karat gold plated, and yeah, I actually shorten these. And one of the other things we're going to do today, I'm going to show you how to do that. So, and here's the earrings here. I think it's just so cute this way. I mean, who thinks about wearing something, you know, just square right on your ears, you know, with these? I don't know. I've never done that. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm just going to add that. And I just think they are so pretty, just like that. Very simple. I used 18 gauge and made simple loops here of that wire. And then these are so good, these jump rings right here. These do not tarnish. Okay, and then, I mean, this one is self-explanatory, really. I can get it open. Oh my goodness, guys, I am so sorry. I'm so tired. I just took the wreaths. That's it. Put on the little earring things. In fact, I think I need to close that a little bit more. Okay, so yeah, these were so cute. That's it, very simple. These are really pretty because they're enameled. So nice. The ones that you really don't have to seal. Okay. Do I want to do that or separate? I'm going to put them in a separate bag. All right, so let me get the other stuff and Be right back. All right, this is the set that I wanted to show you how you can get the in front of the lobe and behind the lobe. I mean, I'm sure you guys can figure it out, but you know, for those of you who are new, this is really a neat concept, and it's been around. I saw a video of somebody singing. She was a Christian singer, and it was quite a few years ago that, you know, this concert that they had. And I've seen this video many times, and yet one day I was just looking, I'm like, wait a minute. I said, that looks like it's behind her ears. I said, I bet I can do that. So, I think I had to think about it from when I showed you guys in my last video, or at least one of my other videos, you know, showing you that you can do something from behind the ear, behind the lobe, and I had to think about that. Where was it that I actually saw it? So yeah, I was actually listening to a Christian song, you know, a beautiful Christian song, and I was like, wow, I saw something just, you know, she's, you know, as she's singing and jumping, there's things like flopping around, and it's like, wow, it's like, that's behind her ear. That is so neat. So, and I think that it's been around long before that too. I think it's just when you're not doing jewelry, you don't really kind of notice those things. It's like you don't really notice, or it's like once you get a car, that particular car that you get, now you see it everywhere on the road, you know? So it's kind of the same concept there. So we have, this is also from the Gemstone Orphanage, from the Homestrung Jewelry, and I am going to be using, and I guess it was the African theme. They had the African bloodstone, and I will be working more with those, but I wanted to, you know, take some of their beads, of course, and show you a tutorial on the concept of having something cute in the front and something in the back. And instead of the hearts, I chose the flowers. I mean, you have your ladybugs, they like flowers. And these here, I believe, I think they're clay. And I mean, these are drilled beautifully here. And this kind of has that, you know, like the rhinoceros, you know, skin here. So this is like kind of like this nature theme. I have some daisy spacers here. That's going to be on our butterfly. So he's going to have a little daisy butt. And these are the little spacer beads. These are all like the gunmetal. So I got some gunmetal, and I got some stainless steel here. And so I'm going to go ahead and take one of our head pins. So I'm not using the ball head pin because I don't need, you know, anything sticking out too much. I just figured this is good enough. I'm going to take a daisy spacer. I'm going to put that on my little ladybug, and I have him facing upward, because I think his eyes show a little bit better when he's facing in the up direction. And so yeah, you can go ahead and you can do one at a time, or you can do both. I'm probably going to end up finishing the other one off of camera, but just so you can see. So you can see where the daisy is going to be part of his little hiney. Okay, and then from here, these are really strong, so you really don't even need to do a wrapped loop. Yes, you can tell I'm tired because I am mixing up my words. So now this is where you want to be careful, because this is lamp work. So if you're going to bend that, this is way too it's way too stiff, that if you go to pull it, there's a chance that you're going to crack that. So it's best that you come in, and then you can go up a little bit and just hold it gently and then bend. Okay, and then you can go ahead and snip off. If you feel like you don't want to use this, you can use your, these are better for any of your stainless steel because it is much tougher than copper. you can come in and cut that off. Okay, I'm going to go right about there. All right, then we're going to take our round nose pliers. See, it wants to spin around. I gotta be careful not to crack this. Now, if you aren't comfortable with using these, this kind of stainless steel ring to make loops, then use like a 20 gauge, an 18 gauge, and okay. So we have our little, and then if you want to make sure that it's closed, you know, just, you have to pull it up because it'll still slide downward a little bit. Okay, that's better. All right, so we got that, and now we're going to take this one, and we don't need the head pin, but we do want to take, these were head pins at one point, I believe, and they were like long, so I only needed a little bit, so this is just the rest of it. So now what I want to do is just make it so that it's flush. I want to get these out. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to do one of those make a P. And then come in here and right where that meets, bend it. So you have your little, it's like your little head pin. Then you're going to take one of your little beads here, the little spacer bead, one of your clay beads, and then the other one. And again, this is stiff enough where you don't have to do a wrap loop. I'm not worried about the direction at this point because I'm going to straighten that out at some point. So go ahead and just come up a little bit so you can bend it so you don't crack any of your beads. And I'm going to try my Zeron here to cut this. Oh, went flying. That's why you need your other cutters, because it's just a lot of pressure on there. I need a little bit more off. Okay. I can go ahead and make my loop. And again, you can always straighten these things out once you got your, so I'm going to go ahead and hold on to that. And then get them nice and straight. Just want to make sure I get that right in the right position. Okay, so we got one there. Okay, now you can always put a jump ring in between, or you can just go ahead and make the connection. I'm just going to go ahead and open this. And close to make sure it's all connected. All right, now from here, you want this in the front. Sorry about that, guys. I just want to make sure everything is straight. I'm like, you're watching me struggle. I mean, I hardly ever do this. I could tell when I struggle this much, it's because I am extremely tired. This is insane. Hold on to that. I need to bring this up a little because it's driving me crazy that it's... Okay, that's better. All right. Now, from here, just when you go to look at it, this is why, the reason why you want to make sure that your beads are facing the right direction. Because again, we obviously have a front and a back. So if you want this to be facing outward, away from your face, then you know that you're going to have to make sure that these are placed the way they should be. So now what we're going to do is make sure that we have, okay, let me just double check. So yeah, if these are going to, because the loop is going to come through here, our earring loop, that means that this going to face this way, and hopefully this won't spin around so much that it ends up in the back. So we're going to go ahead and put our ear hooks. Now this is what I want to show you on this. Now we have the little ball in the spring, but I want to get that off. I do not want that on there. So what I'm going to do is cut this off. And what I do is I'll come in right where they meet. I'm going to cut that off. Okay. Then you're going to take the ball and the spring off. Okay. And you can put those aside because they are great spacers. And then see where it's bent there? Let me come in a little closer. What I do is I'll come in like this. Okay. And I'm going to flatten that. Okay. I'm going to flatten it right there. Make sure it's pretty much flat and straight. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers. And I am going to make a loop from here. Now, if you're using stainless steel or something a little tough, you want to make sure you get a good grip on that, okay? So right about there, I'm going to come around, make my little loop. And then you could just check and make sure everything is straight. And this is how, see, I don't like too much earring, ear hook space showing. I want my focal, my piece of my earring to be the main show here. And if I got, you know, if I got all this thing hanging down before the bead stuff even starts, knowing that you have more wire here, to me it's It's too much. It's too long, and it's very easy to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. And then again, knowing that this is the front of your earring. Okay? So if that's the front, you want to make sure that you get on right here. Okay? Then you're going to go ahead and close that. It's all these neat little tips and tricks, huh? So you can, if you want to go ahead and buy a bunch of these, instead of actually looking for this style, and you want to buy a bunch of these, and you want to make that style, just do what I just showed you. Take it all off. Okay, so now we are going to make the other end here. And this is where we are going to take our little daisy, okay? And again, you can take a little head pin, and you can just use that there on that end, or because the hole comes out in between two petals, you can do that there if you want. It's up to you. Let's see, which way do I like it? I guess it wouldn't matter, but that's pretty good. All right, so let me come back out a little bit more. All right, so I have this, and now I am just going to go ahead and bend that back or sideways, however you want to do it. And again, I don't need to do a wrap loop because I am using the heavier stainless steel here. But I don't need a big old loop either. Something really tiny, and I hope I didn't cut too much off, but I guess we'll wait and see, right? If it is, I'll just have to get another one. Oh. Yeah, I think that's, I'm gonna have to, let me grab another head pin here, okay? Yeah, I'll go with this one. All right, make sure I don't cut off as much as the last time because I want a little bit bigger loop than what was coming out of that last one. So yeah, it's a little tougher when you have something this strong. All right, now I'm just gonna cut it with my oh Lord, I hope I didn't do it again. It must be this. It's probably cutting off more than I think it is. Hold on. I can't seem to grip onto it. You see this stuff us jewelers have to go through? You're seeing it all raw. You know, everything that, all the mistakes that happen, all the struggles that we go through. This thing does not want to stay in place. I can't grip it. All right, so I'm just going to have to do it like this. Yeah, see, it just keeps wanting to spin around. So I have a little loop there, and that should be good enough. And let's see if it'll actually get onto this chain. If not, I'm going to have to use a jump ring. Oh, Lord. I thought this one would be better than the last one. And it went on there beautifully. I am so excited. And the thing is, I can't take a nap, because if I were to take a nap now, I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight, and I have to go to work in the morning, and I have a 12-hour day tomorrow. So I definitely need to really hold out until I can, oh my goodness, I cannot do this today. Okay, that's in there. The whole concept is basically this. I will do that one off of camera. And so now at this point, this is where we just go and take our jump ring. Okay, look at my fingers from just gripping onto that. So we'll just go ahead and take this here. Okay, slip it into that last one. And now we're going to put it right on. You take one of your butterfly backs, okay, and bring it through and close up your jump ring here. See, even though these things right here, these ones are so thin and tiny, they are so tough. That's why I like them. So now you have it on the back, so you don't have to necessarily try to slip the end of this through here and have a chance of losing it. If you already have it attached to your back piece, then you know you can get it through there, and you have one for your back. And it, you know, if you measure it out just right, you should have this hanging just below your other earring here, the front part, okay? So I just think that that is so cute. So yeah, if you guys want to go and invest in something like that, and if you feel like this is not strong enough, then certainly take one of your silicone ones and just back it up with that. And because these don't always come in all the same size. You have 6mm, you have 5mm, and so it does make a difference on the hole size. And also this area here, if you need to cinch it a little, if that doesn't do it, like I said, just take I would take a silicone to back it up. And this way, then you'll have this up against the back of your ear. You already have this attached to it, so you'll always, whenever you take it apart, you'll have something that you don't have to struggle to get it through a tiny little hole, because that can get cumbersome. So you just attach it right to the back. All right, so I'm going to finish the other one offline. I will show them to you after, because we have one more project to do. And I thank you for your patience, and I apologize for being very tired. This is not usual for me when I'm, you know, I just worked so hard this past week, and I'm just telling you, it's, you know, working those hours, running around doing projects here, and now we have Thanksgiving, and so yeah, it's been I think mentally, yeah, a lot mentally, and that can wear you down just as much as your physical things that you do, you know. All right, so let me get the other stuff, and I'll be back with that as well. All right, this is going to be our last one for this video, and I was able to just kind of sit back and relax for a little bit before I start this one, so I feel a little refreshed. And so this one, as you can see, I'm going to be mixing a little bit of metals, so it's not too bad. So I have 18 gauge wire here. They're it's probably about 6 inches, way more than we need, I'm sure. And I am going to use this as a dangle. This is something that came in one of the Jesse James beads. If I know it may be hard to see, but I guess they sprayed this with something and kind of gives it a velvety feel. So it's really pretty. And I just figured with the flower theme that we have in the bargain bead box. Again, I'm going to use the crackle agate that's been dyed and heated. This came in a previous bargain bead box. This is the Unikite Jasper. And here is, if you can see, this is beautiful, like a deep burgundy leather cord. This is 1.5 millimeter. I have 2 cord ends here that fits this perfectly. So I'm going to be using my Ultra Glue, the Loctite Ultra Glue for that. So we're going to start off, excuse me. Now I already sealed this a few hours ago, but I do want to be careful on this because I'm going to be putting my second coat on there after this is finished. And so we'll be doing some barrel knots, and so I cut these, I think I said 8 inches, right? So we're going to start with doing these, and like I said, I'm going to have to be careful because of the second coat that I'm going to put on there. And so I want to make sure that, you know, nothing comes off, you know, as I'm working with this. All right, so I'm going to just pull in the wire and this, and I'll move everything else out of frame, and then we'll begin. All right, so we're going to start here, and we are going to do a wrapped loop. Even though it's an 18 gauge, I don't want any chance for it to just get loose at all. Okay, so we're going to go here. We're only going to do kind of like one full wrap around. We don't need a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and bend this. And I don't need a humongous loop on this side. Okay. Probably not on any side. So I'm going to come around, bring this over, and then kind of like that. And then we're going to go ahead and open this part. So that we can slip it on here. Okay. Oops. And we're going to go ahead and shut that. It's 18 gauge, so just know that you don't want to mar up your tools here. So I'm going to try to hold on to that firmly but loosely enough. And oops, there's that noisy truck again. And then come around. So you really don't need a whole lot here. So now I'm going to snip this off. And then just come in and bring that down. Okay. My stomach's growling. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add 3 of the beads. Oh, look at that one. That one's got some nice white in it right there. 1, 2, and let's see, 3. Okay. Okay, so from here now we're going to do and make a loop that's slightly bigger. Okay. So you can come here, you can go to the end of that. You can even use a smaller one like this. Use the smaller one. Bend that over. Your round nose. So I'm just going to go up a little bit more. We want to be able to get that a little bit bigger. I want to get that, be able to get that leather through because it's going to have to anchor onto this. So before I just want to make sure that it's still going to need some sway, just a little bit. That should be good enough. Okay. And we'll hold on to that. And do our little wrap. Now this one is probably going to have more than that one full wrap. All right. Same thing, just come on in and tighten that up. Okay. Now I'm going to make sure that these are facing the same way. Now I know it's nice and straight right now, but we will be able to bend it so that it'll go around the wrist. Oh, look at how those two would look nice together, stacked together. Isn't that pretty? All right, so do the same thing for the other side. Okay, so I did the other one off the camera. So I got it on there. Again, just that one wrap. Just want to make sure that's nice and straight. All right, now we'll go ahead and add these 3 beads. Sorry, I'm not quite so talkative tonight. But again, if you guys have any questions, you know, anything that you need to know or you're having trouble with, if you watched my previous video, you know, it's still remains. You can go ahead and, you know, ask away, you know, just so we can, you know, interact with you, even though it's not in real time because you're watching the video. They are pre-recorded, so, but you know, we can always interact as we go back and look at the comments. So we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your comments, your questions, and you know, or just anything, you know. Oops. Hold on. Okay, I found it, guys. It landed in my container of like 50 pens, and it went right to the bottom, so you wouldn't have been able to see it. So let's get back to what we were doing. All right, so I am going to hold it here. Oh, this bothers me to do this because I hate marking up my wire. Ugh. I'm going to try to hold it right here. I hope you guys can see that. This is 18 gauge, so it's a little tougher. So sometimes I'll do it like if it doesn't go down all the way, then I'll just come in like that and push it up to get it back on track. Okay, and then, all right, so that should do. Wow, today is just really one of those days where everything is going wrong. Even though I stopped a little bit, tried to get a little bit of rest, drink some water, you know, kind of shake out of this. But, you know, when you're tired, you're tired. Sometimes you just have to pay attention to your body. All right, so now I'm going to make sure that these are in the same direction. Not a whole lot of movement here. Okay. So I believe this was the side that we are working on, or this is going to be the upside at the top. So far, that's what we have. All right, now I'm going to take one of my leathers pieces, and I'm going to come in. I want to make sure that the other hole is the same. Okay. All right, so we're going to come in. We're going to bring that down. All right, well, first of all, let's measure this, because I want to make sure that if I am going to have, let's see. So this is 3 1/4 inches. So we're going to need at least another 3 inches. So about 1.5 inches on each side. Okay, so this is definitely more than we need, but 1.5 inches on this side, 1.5 inches on the other side. So we can determine that by this part. So we'll go a little bit, you know, over. It doesn't matter because we can still cut it down, but you still need at least enough so that you can make your barrel knots. So when you do that, have one longer at the top and one at the bottom. Now this is where you're going to need some glue, because this is one of those that it's very shiny and it's been coated. It's the leather that's been coated with something. So that means that it won't stick like if you were just to have the rawhide. And in that case, you're good. You're going to need some gel here. Okay, so you could take that here. You're going to bring in your noodle, your straw, whatever you have. And I hope I can get through this without any problems. You know, whenever you're on camera, it's a whole different ball of wax. So we're going to come to that right there at the end. And you got that one that's at the top. You're going to go towards the back. You're going to come around one. And as you come around again, you're going to come to the left side going towards your left hand. And I'm going to do 3 here. Okay. At that point, you're going to take that other end and you're going to bring it through. Okay, now it's not going to go all the way through, but if you at least hold it and push, you'll be able to get it through to this side. This is where you have to make sure that you're gently bringing it towards. Okay, this is where we got to work it little by little. And you could bring it right over that if you want. This way it covers it at the same time. Okay. And don't yank, you have to just work it slow. Work it really slow. Okay. Okay. And I like that because that'll cover that right there. All right. Now, if you want, you can do a different style here and make yourself another barrel knot, or you can simply take some wire, wrap around here to make a hole, and then do the same thing on that side, but then add a button. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to take and only have one. So what I'm going to do is, because I like to have this doubled up here, I want to at least try to get maybe even a single knot here, and then just have this one because we want to add this. Okay, because obviously two are not going to fit in there, so we can always work it so that we can get both. Just kind of just have that double strap, you know, going around just for security. Okay, I just want to make sure I am staying tight. And we're going to end up putting glue in there, okay? And we just want to make sure. And we could always just take the one. You can always snip that off here and just go with the one. That's up to you. So there are some options. But the way I want to do it is to have it one strand because of this. All right, so I'm going to figure out which one I want. Okay, I may just do another little knot here and then snip off and have one. So give me a second. All right, well, what I did was I decided I'm going to keep both the strands because they are, as you can see, there's one on each side. And I just think that if I were to cut one off, it would kind of look a little lopsided or just not uniform, I suppose. So because they are coming one on each side of that loop that we made, I am then going to go ahead and use these ribbon end clasps. Okay. And I had already finished the other side, did the barrel knot, covered that loop, and we're just going to go ahead and do that. And so the total measurement with these, and not with these yet, is, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller than I normally do because this is one that I believe is a type that should fit a little bit more snug around the wrist. Okay, and so this actually comes to 5 3/4. So when we add these and our lobster claw clasp and our jump rings, it'll probably bring it just at about 6 1/2. And so it might still be a little loose around my wrist because my wrist is a little under 6 1/4. So it's about 6 1/8. So that'll be, it'll be okay. If I need to change out my clasp to bring in a smaller one, then I'll do that if I feel that it's too loose for this style. So we're going to go ahead and take our ribbon clasp here and bring these together and put them in here, bring them to the end. Okay, and just make sure they're nice and straight when you go to close it. Now you can start with your hands first. And you know, not all clasps, ribbon clasps are the same. Some you get stainless steel that are extremely hard to close. So make sure that you got them right where you want them before you finish off closing them. Okay, can you all see that? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit more of a squeeze. And then you can take, you know, something to close it off a little bit. Just a gentle squeeze. Don't go too hard, especially when you know that some of your clamp ends or clasp ends are a little bit more sensitive and not as strong as a stainless steel one. So I just kind of like to maybe manipulate the teeth a little bit on the sides here. And then, okay, so you know that's not going anywhere. And then you could just go ahead and do the same thing with the other side. And what I did here, if you can see, I curved it a little bit because that's going to go around the wrist. Okay. Make sure these are even. If you have to snip off a little, you know, if you feel like you're not too comfortable with that, you can always take your scissors and snip that just a wee bit. And then come in. And again, place that so that it's in the center. It is a little bit wider than the two. I'm going to try to close this so I won't have to do too much rearranging. Avoid that if I can. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to just gently squeeze, go to the center, go to the side. Now this leather and these ribbon ends are from the Homestrung Jewelry Gemstone Orphanage bead box. So I'm going to come in here. Just want to bring it up a little because when you have anything that might extend a little bit here, you certainly don't want anything that might be pokey in any way. So you can always do this by tucking them in and then closing them a little bit more so that they're not sticking out. Okay, and then just double check the other side, same thing. And then come in and just bring it in a little bit more. All right, so now we can go ahead and put on our our clasp, whatever clasp you choose, whatever you're comfortable with. And then I want to go ahead and add a dangle if I could. Hopefully it'll look nice. Okay, so I have my, grab what it is I need. And I am going to use the gunmetal against these, the gunmetal here, because I don't have the gold in these sizes, of course, of the same gauge that I want. So I am just going to start with these here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put on my clasp. So because this is going to be the top, I want the nubby here towards my chest when I put that on. And I'm going to go ahead and close that up. So make sure I have enough on this side to close it and grab onto it and close it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish it off on the other end, and I think that's going to be it, everyone. I know this was a little painstaking, I think, but you know what? I even though I may be tired, I really enjoy doing this, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun, and so never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. Oops. This is kind of a thick one, so I want to be able to get it through. There we go. And then, see that jump ring? It's not completely closed, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and close that and finish it off when I'm done, to make sure that it's nice and closed. Oops. Okay, and then I want to take my tiny little 4mm jump ring. Ooh. And I want to put this somewhere. Where can we put it? Maybe at the end here. I want to turn that around so that the flower is facing out. Do I want it near the clasp? Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put it right here. Just put it right there where that clasp is. Go ahead and close that up. Let's see what this looks like. I'm going to try this on. All right, I got it on. It took a little bit. I had to pause the video. This is definitely something, if you're going to have it a little bit smaller, and I mean, it'll still go around, but it's not always easy getting it on. So if you have one of those bracelet, I guess it's a tool that holds one end so that you can clasp the other end, or it's best to have somebody help you and put it on, because it can be difficult to put it on by yourself. So this is it, and I think it looks really pretty here, and it still gives me enough room so that it won't feel gross when I get all sweaty. So, and then here is the dangle. So it's got that little flower theme for November. Okay. And so as you can see, it'll dangle right there. So I think that's really cute. So everyone, I think that is that. So with everything that I've made here, hopefully I can get all of it into the thumbnail, and I hope that you enjoyed the show, or the video, the tutorial and everything else. And again, don't mind me, I am tired and I get all silly and can't speak very well. So what I'd like to do is just end with, of course, a precious word. This is from Psalms 112, verse 7. And just like the beginning, speaking of fear, that, you know, God says, have no fear, for he is with us. And this is a prophecy. Psalms is full of prophecy, and the prophecies are not only for the time when Jesus came, but for any time after that and the end times, which I think most of us know that we are in. And so it says, they will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. And that is so true. For anybody who does read the word and truly believe it, there is an effect that the word of God has on you that is, it does surpass all knowledge. It surpasses anything that I can only tell you that his promises are true, and they are not of a what any man can do. He truly does something to you. There is something that actually affects your soul, your heart, and your mind that cannot be explained with human words. So I do the best I could, but it's just something that is far beyond any human comprehension. So everyone, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week, the rest of your weekend, the rest of the week, and God bless, and we will see you again, God willing. Bye-bye.